almost seemed scripted. US President Donald Trump was holding a roundtable event with conservative influencers about Antifa when Secretary of State Marco Rubio walked in with a note. He was seen handing it to the president, after which he whispered something in his ears.
Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly.
It was pretty clear that the Americans wanted to make sure that if there was a ceasefire announced, it was going to be announced by Donald Trump. In fact, an AP photographer covering the event zoomed in on the handwriting on White House stationery that read, and I'm quoting from it, "You need to approve a Truth Social post soon so you can announce the deal first." We would say it's fair since there was no sign of any progress until Trump presented his 20-point plan about a week ago. But it definitely took an entire village to reach this point, and Trump addressed the efforts in a recent statement.
Very well, we're dealing with Hamas and many of the countries. As you know, we have all of the Muslim countries are included, all of the Arab countries are included, very rich countries and some that are not so rich, but just about everybody's included. It's never happened before. Nothing like that's happened before. And our final negotiation, as you know, is with Hamas.
The announcement comes after 3 days of indirect talks in Egypt. Apart from the obvious players, which are Israel, Hamas, and the US, Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey have been working since past peace deals to bring everyone on the same page. In a post on Truth Social, Trump wrote, and I'm quoting again, "Blessed are the peacemakers." It's a direct reference to the Bible, almost positioning the peace process in Gaza as a biblical mission. So how was this mission achieved? Israel's attack on Qatar definitely changed something in the Middle East. While Israeli Prime Minister kept his ante high even after the attack,
the terrorists happened to be on that soil, and we acted, which is what democracies do.
As soon as the Arab and Muslim world united and said an attack on one is an attack on all, the pressure from Washington came down heavily on Israel. Remember, Qatar is a key ally of Washington and invests billions of dollars every single year in the US. And soon after a one-on-one discussion with Trump, Netanyahu issued an apology to Qatar for the attack. Israel was brought to its back foot. The second reason was Hamas's response to peace deal. When Trump announced his 20-point plan, he gave Hamas exactly 6 days to accept the deal. Hamas was smart about its response. It said that it agreed in principle to release the captives and hand over the Gaza administration to another body. They also said they needed some kind of clarification on certain clauses in the proposal. But Trump quickly saw this as a win. He hailed Hamas's response as an agreement to a quote-unquote very important point in the peace deal.
But I think we're doing very well, and I think Hamas has been agreeing to things that are very important.
The third reason was pressure on Netanyahu. The Israeli Prime Minister has released a flurry of statements in the last couple of hours, saying that it's because of Israel's military pressure, it's because of Israel's continuous military activity, it's because of the objectives that he had outlined at the beginning of the war. That's why the world has reached to this point. But in reality, on the ground, it shows a very different story. Most of the captives who were released from Gaza Strip were done through diplomatic means, ceasefire deals, or through direct negotiations with the Americans. It wasn't really due to these advanced military operations that Israel says. But you see, Netanyahu is also under relentless pressure from outside and within. Anti-government protests have gripped Israel in ways not seen before. A lot of critics have blamed Netanyahu for prolonging the war in order to stay in power. So his choices are definitely shrinking. And this was on full display during his visit to Washington late last month. While in front of the cameras, Trump did seem to tout his no-limits friendship with Bibi. Axios later reported that the US president told Netanyahu, and I'm quoting, "Bibi, this is your chance for victory." Trump revealed another card during his latest statement, that Iran could be part of the peace process.
By the way, I believe Iran's going to be actually a part of the whole peace situation, but countries that frankly didn't get along, they're all involved, and it's brought the whole world together. It's amazing. I've never seen anything. It's so good for Israel.
Now, experts think that this is not the last card Trump is going to play, and for someone who loves poker, one card can often change the entire game. much like the Middle East. So we'll be tracking this story very closely on Hindustan Times. I'm Ananya Datta. Thanks for watching.